Du, 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 du. Hey, du, 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 du. Ladies and gentlemen, KocoSports.com presents Wrestle AM. It's half wrestling show, half morning show, pretty much all BS. And of course, you got yours truly, the sexiest man on all of wrestling radio. That's right, Boom Boom, shaking the room, live from the RVA, Richmond, Virginia. And of course, join me there, way across the pond, in the outskirts of Tokyo, Japan, Mr. Dave Koco. What's up, brother?
Hey, nothing much. What's going on, Mr. Boom Boom? Welcome to another week of AEW, but I'm going to ask the chat right now, win, loss, or tie, what did you think of overall AEW? Booms, you can go first, I'll go first, and then we'll rock and roll.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to give it a win. I thought, again, it was just a solid show. With the pandemic going on, a lot of these companies are making adjustments to how they produce their shows. So I'm cutting every company just a ton of slack. But even so, I still think it was a good episode. It was a solid one. In fact, AEW won the ratings war this past Wednesday. Dynamite came out ahead. They got roughly 693,000 viewers compared to the 637 viewers that NXT got at the same time. In terms of viewing audiences, now both shows slipped slightly from the previous week, but AEW particularly did pretty well in the key demo. The show went up to a 0.27 rating in the demographic for people 18 to 49, which is a little bit better than what they've been doing the past couple of weeks. Dynamite, that finished number 16 for the night. NXT, they dropped out of the top 50. They fell to number 51 for that evening. So that just kind of gives you an idea.
Hard times.
Of what's going on. So, a lot of people could be just, saying, well, it's not that the shows aren't good. It's just that when you're doing stuff that, it's taped, or you do stuff that it's going to be a dead, silent, empty arena, and there are major storylines, but nothing like really that just earth-shattering right now that they're doing. And plus, people, at nights, I guess they're trying to get more information about what's going on with this pandemic. So, again, everything's going to get back to normal. It's just only a matter of time, so everybody bear in mind. But, good to see, more than 500,000 people are still watching wrestling through all this, and I think ultimately we will be rewarded. But that's a very long way of me saying, yeah, I give it a win. What say you, Mr. Koco?
I give it a win. I give it a really strong win, and I don't watch much television now that I've streamed. Like, I'm so busy creating content that I barely ever watch wrestling or television in general. I look forward to AEW and the Chicago Bulls documentary. That's like pretty much the only entertainment I got. Overall, I give it a huge win. What were you about to say, Mr. Boom Boom?
I was going to say, I heard that was actually really good.
Oh, dude, it's my favorite time of sports. It's my favorite team. I love it. I love it with all my heart. But I give this a win. I think it was almost a really good show, all things considering, except one thing. Mm-hmm. And here's the thing. The one thing I hate, and I'm going to hit it up later, I think I might be the only one. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't really like that. And I think I'm going to be like in the minority of opinion on this. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Overall, I loved it, and I don't know how true it is, but I'm reading that Tony Khan is the son, right?
Yes.
Okay, I heard Tony Khan wrote all of the scripts that were for this pre-recorded stuff up in Georgia. I don't know how true that is, but if it is true, or there's any aspect of it true, I tip my hat to you. It was simple, and sometimes simple is good.
Yeah,
Mr. Booms?
I'd heard too that he'd written everything in just a matter of minutes, which when you think it, and I'm not trying to downplay this, and I don't want this to come off as an insult, because it's not. It's actually a compliment. It's not that hard. You don't overthink it. Again, my background in TV is producing. That's my background. And sometimes you just got to keep it simple. I mean, here's what you do. I mean, you've got one really big major storyline going on right now, and that's the TNT Championship Tournament. So you're building everything up around that. And now you're filling in the slots now with squash matches, some kind of like small little mini feuds building up and being executed, and then hype packages where you're showcasing your talent. It's just it's simple. It's to the point. If you're watching, you get rewarded because there are some things that count, particularly this the championship tournament that counts. So there's a reason for you to keep tuning in because there's a big storyline there. You get little bitty like mini feuds that kind of pay off because now you see somebody like the best friends feuding with Jimmy Havoc and Kip Sabian, which kind of it's a minor thing. But if you miss out, God forbid, if you miss out from it, you're um, if you miss out on it, you're not missing anything too terribly dramatic. It's not like once everything's over with and they get back to doing shows as normal, you're going to be completely lost. In fact, I think they're going to pick up where they left off. So I think it's very short, simple, to the point. I love it. So, and that's a good call from Tony Khan.
Yeah, and I agree 100%. Boom Boom. One of the advantages of being old and being stuck in certain ways, you know what I mean? Like, oh, this is how a wrestling show can be done. One of the disadvantages of that is that you repeat yourself a lot. And Boom Boom, we've been friends for 476 years. We've been doing this podcast even longer. When we first started, we hated each other. But Boom Boom, this is the thing. Tell me if I said this right. Dear bookers and promoter, and this is why Gato gets a lot more credit than he fucking deserves. When in doubt, book a tournament. 4 guys show up. That's all you got at your India show. Book a tournament. When in doubt, book a tournament. When in doubt, book a tournament. Have you heard that before, Boom Boom?
Yeah. I mean, because you've got a limited roster, so it makes sense. So you're having to recycle. It makes sense to recycle. Various matches with the same people, and then maybe you could do like side feuds or something. Like I don't want to say like a losers bracket, but now the guys who've lost a tournament who've been eliminated, they're free to to feud with each other. They may have not have touched each other. Like maybe one was like a number 7 seed, the other one was number 8 seed. They never touched each other. But now that they've been eliminated, now they're free to have a match with each other and have it be somewhat of a fresh matchup when you have limited talent on hand.
Yeah. So overall, I'm very happy about it. It's a win. Let's break it down match by match, segment by segment, and just know, Mr. David. I don't know why I'm talking to myself like that. I'm a teacher. Mr. David is gonna disappoint you. I know you listening right now. You're like, oh, Dave's such a cool guy. I'd love to drink Coke with him in a bar one day. My drinking days might be over, but I'm gonna let you down. I'm gonna let you down. All right, Booms. Let's break this down step by step, match by match, high fiving along the way. Booms, hot tag to you.
All right, we got Tony Schiavone and Chris Jericho back on commentary. We start with a video hype package.
Can I just cut you off real quick?
Yeah.
Chris Jericho is a fucking god at everything he does. I love Chris Jericho. There, I said it. I had to get it out of the way, Boom Boom. Continue.
Okay. They had to do a little package hyping up the Darby Allin versus Cody Rhodes match, and in fact, that's the first match. This is the semifinal match in the TNT Championship Tournament. It actually turned out to be pretty good. I think it was a very wonderful match. Darby went after Cody's knee on the early part. There was a little bit of a miscue. Cody speared Brandy into the barricade, so she had to be removed from ringside by Billy Gunn. These two again tied it up in the ring. There was a coffin drop that got blocked. It was a Boston Crab attempt. The match, they started using each other's finishers. Darby hit the crossroads on Cody Rhodes. He got a good 2 count. Followed up with a figure 4. Brandy managed to come back out there. She gave Cody some water. Darby went back on the offense. he countered into that little backpack stunner that he does, where he just flips over, which looks cool by the way. But he countered the moonsault into a crossroads, but he got it too. Cody went to the top. He attempted the coffin drop, but Darby Allin got his knees up, but he managed to roll through that and got a little bit of a cradle on Darby Allin and got the win. So good job there. Cody defeated Darby Allin. Roughly it was about a 20-minute match. I think it was really good. These two have had some really good matches. Their very first match, they went to the time limit draw. Now, Cody's won twice, I believe, in one-on-one matches now with Darby Allin. Now, there's a minority. I think a lot of people kind of knew how this thing was going to go because I think, we're all building up to, Cody versus Lance Archer. But uh, I don't think Darby Allin has really lost anything in these losses to Cody. I think what's going to happen is, and this is just my personal opinion, at least this is how I would do it. I would just have, just Darby Allin, that, just kind of raring to go. It's like I've come so close so many times, but Cody just finds that way to eke out a win. I know just one more time, and I know I can do it. And I guarantee you, next time they tie it up, Darby Allin's going to win, and there's just going to be big pomp and circumstance. It'll be huge. It'll be kind of like the time when I think it was Evolve. Darby Allin had this feud with Walter, and the whole feud was, well, yeah, you're a good kid, but you don't belong here. You don't belong with us Giants. And then he defeated Walter using the Last Supper. And it was just like this big explosion. Oh my God, he beat the big man. He finally, he proved, he belongs. And I think that's the storyline the AEW's going to try to tell with Darby Allin. Because even in the losses, man, Darby Allin has not looked bad at all. He's looked great. It just looks like, he just got outsmarted or got outplayed just barely. Because I mean, these it's not a squash match. It's not one of those he just was in over his head. I mean, he's pushed Cody to his limits. I mean, he's had him on the ropes. He just can't quite put him away. And I think it's one of those going to keep, he's going to keep chopping that wood, and eventually he's going to topple over the red wood that is Cody Rhodes. But hot tag over to you, Coco. What was your impressions of the match?
Overall, I really liked it. Let's get the bad out of the way. The only bad thing I could see is Darby Allin's promo skills are not good. And I was having an argument with someone that I talk pro wrestling with, not named Boom Boom. And not Boom Boom was like, oh, that was a great promo. I was like, dude, that's indie-rific. And he's like, it reminds me of a young Jeff Hardy. I was like, my point exactly. It's not that good of a promo. The matches are amazing. The story is amazing. And the biggest positive is I really like the finish. I like the finish a lot. It was pretty amazing. So, less talking, more action, and I think he's going to do a lot better if/when the crowds return.
Mm-hmm. So I think it was a great way to continue the tournament. Then next we get another video package for Scorpio Sky. Talked about how, about the start of the SCU. He didn't really want to be the third guy, but things gelled and it really helped his career out. And he talked about recently, when he earned the title match against Jericho last year, which I think was great. I love how they're doing this. I think they're positioning I think here's what I'm thinking, Coco. Maybe I'm getting the impression of this. Maybe I'm getting it wrong. You can correct me if you think I'm wrong. I'm thinking that they're getting ready. Christopher Daniels is getting ready to retire. He's going to finish up some things. I think he's still going to, pay it forward and everything. And I think Frankie Kazarian, they may be, be teasing either a breakup or Kazarian and Scorpio Sky kind of just become like a tag team. But ultimately, they're getting ready to push Scorpio Sky as a top-level star in AEW.
Yeah, it would be really smart. Paying it forward, I would love to see the guy that retires, Christopher Daniels, if it happens. And I love Christopher Daniels. I've always loved Christopher Daniels. I've seen him in Indies. I've seen him in NW Wildside. So I want to come with a heavy heart what I'm going to say next. I don't say this very easily. I think MJF ending his career would be amazing. I don't know if they want to end his career. I don't know if he wants to end his career. I think he should be Christopher Daniels is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. And there was a time before TNA, I think he was better than AJ Styles. I really do think he was better than AJ Styles. I love these Scorpio Sky segments, and I hope that this is a thing that they continue on. It just makes you instantly care about their characters / wrestlers. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it is interesting, and it has piqued our interest, and that's the best part. All right, back to you, Booms.
Yeah, I kind of hope they do this with more of the talent. That's what I would do right now. I think I've said this last week, but I would sit everybody down, do one of these interviews, and then just plug and play wherever you need them. And if they're not good, you don't have to air them.
Hunt times a million. And not even if they're not good, don't air them. That's what goes on YouTube. Mm-hmm. You're like, oh, this ain't TV worthy. But, like here's an example. Put on your fan hat for a second. Okay. Whoever your favorite wrestler is. If it's not that good of an interview, yeah, it might not be good television. But if you're a super fan of him, you would seek that out on YouTube. Like I would seek out a Samoa Joe and, an Asuka, an Okada. I would seek out those interviews, like Kenny Omega and Ibushi. So even if it's like, oh man, we can't use this on television, you still have YouTube content. So I think they should be doing it all the time, to be honest. All right, back to you, Booms.
Back to me. Next we had MJF promo. He talked about how he's rehabbed his hangnail and that his doctor has called it a miracle. He went from death's door to recovery. He's got the strongest nail in history. His words, not mine. But then, I'm TV ready. But then he took off his scarf and revealed he had a neck brace on. He says, I nicked my neck by shaving. A normal man would have bled out, but I survived. He wanted to be back there wrestling in front of 6 or 7 of his peers, but he's going to have to wait a little bit longer. But he promised he will be back. I'm
sorry. Yeah.
I love how he played the fans. I mean, it's like he teased like, people took it seriously. It's like, MJF is reporting he might be hurt, and I'm like, dude, this is MJF. This guy does not break kayfabe. So I was like, y'all need to probably hold off on that. And then of course we all reveals like, oh, my injuries, I've got a hangnail, and it's just like, dude, he just fucking played all your asses.
He is so good at being a horrible person. And it's just amazing. So hopefully he keeps it up. All right. Next
after that, we had a squash match, Wardlow versus Musa. This thing ran about a little over 2 minutes, which is exactly about what it needed to be. Musa just absolutely destroyed this kid. Like he worked him up in the corner. I think it really picked up when Musa finally slapped Wardlow. Wardlow just kind of took it back and said, really? Then just hit him with a knee strike. His finish, I believe it's like an F10. He just throws you he'll just tosses you like he's going to get you up like an F5 or an airplane spin, and just throws you and spins you around as you go flying through the air, and he wins. So it's what it needed to be.
Good God, this was a good squash match. Now, granted, I don't know why I've become the squash match expertise, but God, this got its job done. It just, you know what? Sometimes I'll be like, dude, that was the worst fucking squash match I've ever seen. A couple weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. I don't know. I don't have a good memory. But this was a good squash match. This is grade A squash. Grade A squash. Boom, boom. All right, next.
Next after that, we got another episode of the Bubbly Bunch. Jericho kind of complaining that he believed he won last week's Flim Flam dance. But Sammy said, well, I won it. Everybody says different. You can suck my big, fat bottle of hand sanitizer. And then Santana and Ortiz, they're kind of arguing about who won. And finally, Jericho like, you know what? It doesn't matter. Let's do a good old-fashioned Manitoba Melee. And they had like this virtual board. I've seen it online before where somebody will throw a punch and then it cuts to a video of somebody reacting to being hit by like a strike, and then they kind of reel and they come back and they punch the camera and it keeps cutting. This thing went all the way through the Inner Circle. Also included Peter Avalon, Jungle Boy, Sonny Kiss, Dr. Luther, Lou Ferrigno, Jay and Silent Bob, Jericho's dad. I think Lou. I already said Lou Ferrigno. I think
Was the Tiger King guy in there? Was that the dude from Tiger King, or was it just some random?
I've never seen Tiger King, so I wouldn't be able to, I wouldn't know either way. I know one of them was Corey Taylor. I found out later from Slipknot. I know he was in there, and then, of course, it ends with Vickie Guerrero, and then Jericho's like, stop, because that was awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. I've already met, I probably shouldn't say this on here because he hasn't got back to me yet, but I've been messaging somebody about possibly putting together our own Manitoba Melee. I don't want to get anybody's hopes up, but I floated the idea to somebody.
All right. I think this was stupid and cute. And it was just the right
Gabriel
level
Iglesias.
of stupid and cute.
Thank you. That's who I was forgetting. Gabriel Iglesias. Fluffy. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but it just popped in my head. That's who I forgot.
No problem. And Jericho's dad was there, a New York Ranger. I don't know. I thought it was the right level of stupid and cute. It was cute enough, stupid enough. It was contained in its own thing. I don't know. I don't mind stupid / cute segments if it's in its own little world. You know what I mean? So yeah, overall, I really enjoyed it. I just thought it was hilarious, in a good way. I was like, because to me, this is stupid and cute, and they're having fun. Usually, other companies, they'll do stupid and cute, and it's at the expense of the wrestlers. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, overall, I enjoyed it. My ranking is stupid and cute in a good way. Back to you, Booms.
Then next we have Best Friends versus Kip Sabian and Jimmy Havoc. This is a no DQ match. This has been building up. Remember, this kind of all started when Jimmy Havoc gave, I guess, an impaler DDT to Orange Cassidy on the outside. This led to a singles match. Orange Cassidy won that. He was jumped by the bad guys afterwards. This led to a challenge, an accepted challenge. By the way, let me just say for the record, Penelope Ford, extremely hot. I'm just going to get that out of the way. This was actually a really good, kind of not really nice, brutal match. They brought out chairs. They brought out ladders. They did some sick shit on the fucking ladder. Of course, the ladder didn't break initially. I really encourage everybody to check it out. Orange Cassidy called a chair right to the head. I don't know how hard Havoc hit him with it, but Orange Cassidy sold it like he had been hit by a damn truck.
Yeah, it looked amazing.
Yeah, I don't know if you know any of the secrets, Coco, but back in your days as a booker, I mean, do you know about how you could do that, where you could just make it look like you've just murdered somebody with that chair without actually crippling them?
Well, a lot of times the indie hardcore guys are really, murdering each other and all that. The flat part of the chair is obviously important, but also camera angles and sound effects do matter. And selling matters. So, I don't know. I didn't really break it down and do it, but if it's not live, you can cut the camera at a right angle, put in a sound effect. You know what I mean? But I don't know if that's what the case is. 98% of the time, especially on the indies, and especially when I was, booking pro wrestling, this was right after the Attitude Era. So it was people were really fucking just smashing each other with chairs. But there are ways to do it. I didn't break it down. I just thought no matter stiff, not stiff, real, not real, whatever the situation is, it looked amazing, and that's what pro wrestling should be. Go ahead, sir.
All right. Chair got wedged in the corner. Kip got slammed into it. God, there was a Death Valley driver on the chairs. There was a couple of false finishes where both partners had to make saves. Chuck fired back into a slam on the chair and hit the pile driver on Kip. Penelope Ford had to come in to make the save. it all ended when Chuck hit this. He calls it the awful waffle. It's like this running reverse Michinoku driver. It's like he's got you where your back is on his shoulder, and he's got you tucked down like a pile driver, almost like a pile driver position, and he just runs and then drives you straight down. He drove, I think it was Havoc, right straight down onto those chairs, and the good guys got the win. That was just fucking amazing. That was just a great. It was, and they kept it under 15 minutes, which I think was great. That's one of my problems with when you have like I don't want to say empty arenas, but emptier arenas. Some of these things drag on. This didn't drag on too long. It always stayed interesting. They did some false finishes. They had a little bit of brutality in there. This was awesome. So I'm gonna give that a big thumbs up.
Okay. A, I love the match. B, I thought it was awesome. Boom boom. This is when I heel turn. Get your popcorn ready and get ready to boo me. I think this wrestler is talented. I enjoy his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's one of the most over guys ever. But with, what's going on, limited rosters, all that, I think this is an unpopular opinion. I think they're using Orange Cassidy way too much. Like, if we keep sending him out there, he is completely different than anything that's on television. Maybe anything in pro wrestling.
Coco, I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you because I agree that you don't want to overexpose somebody and you don't want to use somebody too much. But this is where I start cutting some shows some slack. Now, everybody who's out there on part of AEW is there on a voluntary basis. If you're staying home right now because of the pandemic, you're not being punished. There are some people like, Pac, the Lucha Brothers, they're overseas. They're not able to travel to the United States, so they have a limited crew, and I think they're just using what they have. And I think that's why they're using, and we're going to mention him a little bit later, Sean Spears a little bit more right now is because he's there. And I think they try to get it to where he's not like Orange Cassidy has a presence on the show, but he's not always in the ring. So they've done that, but it's because they've got only so many people there on hand in the arena, so they're having to build the shows around what they've got. Now, if this was ordinary, regular circumstances, I would actually probably agree with you, but these are just different times. They're working with what they have. They're working with the tools that's being presented that they have on hand.
I 100% agree with you, but I'm just saying it out loud because if this trend continues once everything gets back to normal, you're going to ruin them. And I'm not saying ruin them like body-wise, just ruin them, the fans' enjoyment of them.
You talking about the laws of diminishing returns?
Exactly, sir. So, and I'm glad the Best Friends won. I am going to keep a close eye on the Best Friends. I think we have to push them and they have to do better. Mm-hmm. I think they have to win more than they lose and go on a little bit of a run, I don't know. I'm going to keep a close eye on Best Friends, be like, I don't want to see them lose too much, but it's difficult. All right. Boom, boom, back to you.
Next, we got a Britt Baker video package. It had actually a cameo from Rebel. I think that's Rebel from Impact Wrestling, if I remember correctly. I could be completely wrong on that one. She talked about, there's things that, you can't be a hero and wear glasses. You can't, people who wear glasses to be smart, to look smart aren't. And they're always picking on Tony Schiavone, by the way. Talking about, don't be fat, don't have a snaggle tooth, and it's obviously like, Photoshop versions of Tony Schiavone. Britt was being a total bitch towards Rebel, who, by the way, total MILF, just going to put that out there. But I think it was pretty good. I really loved the heel turn with Britt Baker. I think she's got a little bit more freedom and is a little bit, in my opinion, she's just coming off as more relaxed. She's not, because I think it's easier to kind of run things, just, throw some insults, run people on the ground. And I feel like she's got a little bit more room to play, and that's really where she's starting to shine.
Yeah, she's been hit or miss, and I think I don't know if they made a correction, if this was all the plan. I know a lot of people are debating this online. A lot of people are debating like, "Oh, you said she would never make it." All that shit's going online. I don't know what the situation is, but right now she has potential.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it comes off a bit cheesy, especially when she's ringside. She does a lot better not being ringside. I think she should be replaced ringside because in her segments, she is fucking hitting home run after home run after home run. And then
Mm-hmm.
she sits ringside with a shoe and a sandwich. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? So they need more of the role model segments and less of eating shoe sandwiches ringside. But overall, I think she has potential to be great, especially character wise. In ring wise, oh, maybe she'll get better, maybe. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. I don't want to knock her in ring because I haven't seen enough. But what I have seen, I don't see what people see in her. You know what I mean?
Well, I think she's gotten better since she started. I can tell she's working with somebody. I don't know who that is, and I'm not trying to imply anything. I'm just saying I think she's been working with somebody, and it's really, really showed. One thing I mentioned, I think it was about 2 or 3 weeks ago, is the whole setup for the lockjaw. Just never, it just kind of like, okay, we're gonna do the lockjaw now. It was like you were setting up like on a video game, but they did this thing where she had like an arm drag. She grabbed like the arm, held on to it, and rolled around, and it just looks so much more natural. Just little bitty things like that really paid off. So I think she's working with somebody, and I just see her improving day in and day out.
She could be AEW's female Miz. And I mean that in a compliment. She could be one of
Mhm.
those heels that improve dramatically. All right. Next.
Next year we have a squash match: Shawn Spears versus Baron Black. And really not much to it. This thing lasted about 3.5 minutes. Uh, Spears countered out of a ground and pound. He cut him off, hit a C4, and then finished him off with the sharpshooter. And from what I understand, it's being reported. I don't know how true this is. Again, take it for what it's worth. Shawn Spears got permission from Bret Hart to use the sharpshooter, and he says it's now his. So maybe he won't be using that C4, that Death Valley driver's finisher. Maybe he'll use it as a setup for the sharpshooter, which may actually wind up being his new finisher. So,
If
but
if
I think
true, amazing. If true, amazing. Sean Spears has everything to be a superstar, but there's just something missing. You know? It's like
mhm.
just one thing missing. Maybe Bret Hart. What it Oh my god. 1 plus 1 equals Bret the Hitman Hart tag team partner. He's too old. And I'd say manager, but now. Okay, I got nothing, dude. Sometimes you come up with an idea mid podcast and go, that's definitely poop.
Mhm.
I don't know. Sean Spears has potential. It just seems like he's missing a piece of the puzzle. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I think once they get Tully Blanchard back with them, I think
Yeah,
things
that
will be a
helps.
little bit better. It's going to help. I mean, it's just a little bitty thing, and I think they're making the best of the situation. Afterwards, let's see, Taz broke down talked about Lance Archer's finisher, the blackout. Then we got,
Can I just cut you off real
yeah,
second,
yeah,
sir?
go ahead.
I'm not a big fan of what Taz has become. We get it, Taz. It's the fans' fault for everything. Taz's eggs is cold in the morning. It's pro wrestling fans' fault. Taz is fucking, I don't know. Taz has fucking got a flat tire. Goddamn pro wrestling fans. We get it. Everything is our fault, Taz. With that said, I'm not a big fan of what Taz became.
Mhm.
I think this segment is perfect. This is perfect for him, and it's perfect for pro wrestling. It's perfect for the show. This is something that, please do not drop this. I love this. I love this with all my heart. All right. Sorry, I just wanted to say that I used to love Taz, and now he's a piece of shit that blames everything for fans, and finally did a good segment. Back to you, Booms.
Okay, good. Next, we got a little package about Marco Stunt. The typical, people say I don't belong, whatever. Talked about how small he is, but he's got a big heart. He's going to keep fighting. So, and that led us into another match here. It was Marco Stunt versus the Exalted One, Mr. Brody Lee. This did not go long. And oof, Marco Stunt died. I think he was only 23. Jesus Christ. Um, Lee, I mean, he just kept shoving, just ragdolling Marco's stunt. Marco would try to fire back, but instead he wound up just, getting caught on the outside, thrown down. He ate a super kick. Stunt tried to make a comeback, but then he just flew right into a black hole slam. He got finished off with a sit-down power bomb. A little over 3 minutes. Wow, goodbye. Ouch. Poor market.
First off, it's weird. It's weird in pro wrestling you give compliments for stuff that's common sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's just like we've become so negative and it's been so bad that small things, you're like, bravo. The small thing I'm going to give a compliment on is when she interviews him, he stops and thinks of his fucking answer. I know that sounds weird. This is something that should be in television more often.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird that is it weird that I'm complimenting it? Is this how bad pro wrestling's been? I'm like, hey dude, I like the way you fucking stop. Maybe I'm looking too deep into it.
Mm-hmm.
Second off, loved it. Loved Brody Lee. Loved Marco Stunt. And maybe it's the ECW guy in me. I'm getting a Spike Dudley vibe. A Spike Dudley vibe. And I love the promo package because it told him where his friends were. It made him think. You know what I mean? Like, he questioned his own beliefs. That was amazing. I know it sounds stupid. It sounds fucking retarded. I can't believe this is what we've come to. But wrestling has been bad for so fucking long that a guy fucking thinking of his answer fucking makes me pop. I'm like, holy shit. He's not reading off a fucking card. He took a breath. He's fucking questioning his own fucking beliefs. I don't know. I fucking enjoyed everything about this. And it was just simple. Brody Lee, give yourself a Barry Horowitz for being Brody Lee. Marco Stunt, give yourself a Barry Horowitz. The writing, it's 5 fucking minutes. How the fuck does pro wrestling, and I don't want to say WWE because a lot of pro wrestling companies fuck this up. How do you fuck up this 5 minutes? Like, I am legit excited for fucking Marco Stunt. I don't fucking get it. Thank you, AEW. Fucking thank you. Back to you, Booms.
All right, back to me. Next, we get a video package from Jon Moxley. He's walking around, shows him walking around in the desert. He's talking about how things have changed. He's talking about the things he's thankful for, particularly his wife, steel chairs. And then AEW, according to him, is coming back live next week. He's going to be there, and he's just daring anybody to step to him. And then I love the end. He says, don't forget to call your grandmother and support your local businesses.
And here's the thing. Somewhere along the way, Moxley lost his smile. Maybe it was when he was being Dean. Dean lost Moxley's smile. And when Moxley came back, it was like, you're still fucking Dean. Don't fucking fool me. You're not fucking Moxley. No, you're still fucking Dean. This reminded me of why we love Moxley. You know what I mean? I fucking love this promo. It was well delivered. It hit the social issues. It hit the AEW issues. It hit fucking comedy. It hit serious. This was just a fucking great goddamn promo. And here's the thing. Let's rewind the clock a couple years ago. Boom Boom loved Moxley in the Indies. Am I wrong?
And, yeah. I saw a little bit of his work. But,
yeah, and Boom Boom wanted him to go to NXT with all his fucking heart. And then just like everything that goes to NXT, eventually it fucking dies of WWE. This fucking gave me hope. This is the first time I felt like because, unpopular opinion, I just thought it was Dean Ambrose trying to act cool. That's it. It's like, oh guys, no, really, I'm not Dean Ambrose anymore. I'm New Japan guy. I'm not Dean Ambrose. I'm an AEW guy. You know what I mean? I think this is a moment where I'm like, this is pretty fucking good. This is a good goddamn promo. So, Moxley, rest in peace, Dean. Fucking, I'm proud of you. Proud of you. Okay? You're not acting like Moxley. You are fucking Moxley. Boom's main event time.
Real quick, next week they're talking about the return of MJF, Mox versus Kazarian, and the Sex Gods. That is Jericho and Sammy Guevara is going to take on Matt Hardy and Kenny Omega in a street fight. So it looks like things are finally starting to get back to normal with AEW, by the way, and things are trying to get back to normal here in the United States. But anyway, I'll save those rants for a different time. This time we had another semifinal match. We had Lance Archer versus Dustin Rhodes. Now, if this looked a little wonky or whatever, it's because it was this was supposed to air in a different show. I believe this was supposed to actually air next week, but it looks like since it looks like AEW starting to get the all clear to go ahead and start running some shows within reason and precautions. They went ahead and just put this in as the main event. So I actually like the story that they told on this one. Dustin Rhodes.
And now, I'm sorry, sir. And that would explain Brandy. That would explain the Brandy situation.
Why Brandy had a different outfit on. Why Cody had a suit on. Why Brandy was no-selling the injury she took earlier on in the show. So a lot of things made a lot of sense. So there's some people kind of maybe who mentioned some stuff, but I'm like, dude, that we don't know how things are working right now. We're kind of taking everything week by week.
See, can I just touch something? And once again, I don't know if I fucking said this. Chris Jericho is fucking amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Did you notice how he just said a fucking sentence to cover it? Dear anyone who has a fucking mic in pro wrestling, your fucking job is to be like Chris Jericho and cover shit. Chris Jericho, give yourself 3 Barry Horowitzes. Chris Jericho for president. There, I fucking said it. I don't want to get political. Chris Jericho now is the rule of the world. There you go. Just, Jesus fucking Christ, how fucking hard is this? How fucking hard is it? Sorry, Booms. Back to you. I just wanted to put over Chris Jericho very angrily. Like, just yell at Chris Jericho. You're really fucking good at what you do. Booms, what would you do? Like, if we ever met in person and that's how I talk to you. Like, Booms, you're really fucking good at what you do. Booms, you are good at what you do. What's next?
Thank you. And again, this is the semifinal match, Archer versus Dustin Rhodes. I think they told a good story for what they were trying to accomplish. Is you had just Lance is like this huge monster. Dustin tried to go on the offense, but Lance mowed him down. Eventually, Dustin got busted open early. Lance Archer, being the monster heel, was literally shoving Dustin's face back into a pool of his own blood. They kept brawling to the floor. Dustin, every time he tried to get a rally, boom, he would get shut down. He tried to rally, boom, get shut down. But Dustin wouldn't give up. Eventually, Dustin would try to get the corner strikes on Lance, but he escaped. Dustin did hit a crossroads, but he only got a 1 count, really selling that Lance Archer is a monster here. He gets hit with a choke slam. He did, I love this thing that Lance Archer did where he did the skin the cat, where he just walked on the top rope, kind of like Undertaker, but then did like a moonsault. I just thought that was the coolest fucking spot in the match. Anyway, that was good enough for a 2 count. He took off the turnbuckle pad, slammed Dustin's head into it. They were starting to sell it because QT Marshall was talking about maybe throwing in the towel. Cody took it away from him, and then I guess then Cody's like, oh, do you want me to do it? Do you want me to do it? Dustin's like, no, don't do it. Eventually, Lance downs Dustin Rhodes and starts pounding his head into the mat, and then finally pins him with the EBD claw. And Lance Archer wins, and he advances to the finals. So now the finals are going to be Cody Rhodes versus Lance Archer for the TNT Championship.
I love the TNT Championship. I love both these finishes. I'm talking about both tournament matches. I love this finish. If you fucking didn't feel Rocky IV and Apollo, ooh, what a fucking... Dude. Come on, man. Good shit. This is great. I really, really enjoyed this. I don't know. I'm so bad at reviewing stuff I like. I'm like, it was good. Booms. um, yeah, I really like this. I like the story it told. I like,
Mhm.
yeah, I enjoyed. Your thoughts on it, Booms?
It was everything it needed to be. I mean, you just really got Lance Archer over is like I keep saying it, but I mean it's just true. I mean it is just a monster heel because Dustin's actually pretty big. I mean he's a pretty big guy. He's over 6 feet tall. So this guy's not a little guy. This isn't like him squashing Marco Stunt. This is him beating up a bigger guy, and not only that, but a veteran. So, so he's beating him up. And then you got the babyface, he's trying to, but he keeps getting shut down, but he doesn't give up. He keeps trying to fire back up, keep coming, but he's just overwhelmed. There's the whole, do you want us to throw in the towel? Do you want to quit? No, I don't want to quit. Don't throw in the towel. I want to see this through to the end. And you get so much sympathy for Dustin. And now you're going to have, Cody Rhodes taking on the guy who just demolished his older brother in the ring. It's kind of like, I mean, it is like almost like Rocky
It's,
3, because remember, you know, he wanted, Clubber Lang wanted him, Rocky didn't, but then Clubber finally gets the match, destroys Rocky, and now
yeah.
Rocky's gonna had to do the comeback, had to team up with his old nemesis Apollo Creed to figure out a way to beat Clubber Lang.
Rhodes and AEW have figured out something that is fucking what?
Mm.
We love Rocky. You can fucking steal ideas from Rocky, except the hug scene on the beach. Please, no hug scenes on the beach. Any
Yeah, don't do
scene
that one.
in fucking Rocky you can recreate, and I will fucking pop for. I will fucking pop for every goddamn fucking time. By the way, I wouldn't be a fucking indie promoting douchebag if I didn't say Dustin Rhodes, former ACW champ. But yeah, overall, yeah, I enjoyed it. Big win. I just worry about Orange Cassidy and Best Friends, but we'll see where it goes. Booms, do you want to plug a bunch of stuff?
I don't really have anything to plug. Would just say check us out on KocoSports.com, KoCoSports.com. It's your home for combat sports, where the world goes to kick ass, and most importantly, where it's okay to be a passionate fan. Can't say that enough. You can find Dave Koco. He's actually streaming on Twitch. I mean, right now he's playing Shadow of the Colossus now.
I'm playing Shadow of Colossus on Coco Plays YouTube with Bear Friend, but on
Okay, on Koco
Twitch,
plays on YouTube.
on Twitch, Coco Sports, I'm playing sports games. But right now, my computer is broken, so we are getting a brand new computer in about 14 days. So I'm really excited about that. Bear Friend did a bunch of research, and she's getting me like top of the line computer, and I was like, "Ooh, Bear Friend." So yeah, I'm really really excited for that. And yeah, we're gonna do some more Stump the Idiots. It's Golden Week, and we're slowly but surely keep improving. And pre-order Lucky the Orphan. It's about an orphan that grew up in the 80s in an orphanage. I'm kind of repeating myself. And it's funny, cute stories about how we would do anything for a Nintendo.
Yeah, I
Though,
mean, okay, we should stress that it's nothing like Operation Freak Show.
yeah,
Operation Freak Show was totally meant for adults. This is meant for younger readers. This is meant for people probably around the 10-year-old age range, somewhere around that ballpark there. Maybe a little younger, maybe a little older, depending on your parenting style. And it just tells the story of the kid growing up without a family, and how is he going to the whole idea is to win respect of his peers. Well, how can he win the respect of his peers in the 80s? Well, by scoring an NES. Well, how do you get an NES? You don't have a job, you don't have money. Well, you have to hustle. So Lucky has to hustle to get this NES, but he's got to do this here because he's under the watchful eye of a very strict nun. So, how does Lucky kind of get around this and kind of score, win some respect right there? It's the whole world where respect is everything, or at least he believes it is. And so Lucky's just recounting, the whole tale of his childhood. So it's something, maybe, younger readers would be interested in, or maybe if you got kids, want to read to them. I mean, that's something that you could definitely, get for, I mean, hell, it's not like we got anything else better to do right now, so why not just go ahead and read it to them, or read it yourself. But you can pre-order it right now on Amazon.com.
Oh, Boom Boom, you're so good at this. Dude, I thought you were going to drop a loyalty thing because then you had a John Cena in it. You're like, honor, respect, whatever. But yeah, I worked really hard on it, and a lot of people worked hard on it, so I'm hoping it does good. And yeah, it's young adults, so hopefully you guys enjoy it. Overall, I plan on doing a lot more, and super excited about the future. Just gonna try to rebuild everything and keep moving forward. Boom Boom, thank you very much. We will be doing Stump the Idiots this week. Sorry that we got behind on them. Just when your computer starts dying, a part of you starts dying. Am I right?
Yes, that is true.
So we'll try to get some Stump the Idiots. Boom Boom. Love you, brother. Last second to say anything. If not, we can wrap this up.
No, thank you guys for hanging in there. We're starting to see a light at the end of this tunnel, and you guys have been great. Gutting this thing out. It's just going to make us a little bit tougher, and this is some shit we can brag about in about 20, 30 years. And they're going to, because I always look at it this way: we're making history right now. We're living history, and they're going to put this in history books, and our kids, our grandkids, are going to read about this, and they're going to, wait a minute. Grandpa Koco, he was there during the pandemic. Grandpa Koco, what did you do during the pandemic? And Coco's going to be like, what did I do? What the fuck did I do? I'll tell you what I did. I made podcasts with my best friend Boom Boom, and then me and your grandmother, we streamed games online the whole time. Back when you could do that. I played a lot of hockey. That's all we did. I just played hockey games and talked to random strangers from around the world. That's what your grandpa did during the pandemic.
That's a pretty cool grandpa. All right, guys, be safe, keep your humanity, be kind to each other, and with that, I am over. Hey, ba-dum, bum, bum.